Hello everyone, so in this video we are going to see some forklift operations in first person view. Now I have set up two trucks and two forklifts. As you can see, this one is the one I'm used to loading into this truck. I will first demonstrate the process of pallet handling, and then because I will be using visual reference, I want to show you the thought process in finding your visual references. So I will be using a forklift I'm not used to, and I will be loading a trailer I'm not used to. So you will see the thought process I go through to determine my reference spots. So first let's hop into the trailer the forklift I'm used to. Okay, now let me center. Now some basics first. Okay, as you can see, I'm wearing the appropriate outfit. For that purpose, I start the engine, and before operating, I turn on the beacon. Fine. Now, before getting started, a few basics. For that matter, I might need to switch to third person view so that you see what I mean. So most forklifts, you can raise and lower the forks, and then the mast you can lean back, lean forward. And now let's switch to third person view. The forks, the distance, you can increase or decrease the distance between the forks. And on this particular forklift, which is a mod by the way, you can also move it sideways. Okay, then after just make sure to put it back to center, and you will notice that it's slightly offset. So here I have to slightly move to the right so that now I have a proper view. So let's reverse so that you can see a better, that the gray background will work perfectly. So you have to make sure to be able to position the mast like vertical, like this. It's just a rough side picture that you need to have. Sometimes you will have to tilt it backwards, sometimes you will have to tilt it forward. So you have to get a side picture of when it is vertical, more or less. Okay, it does not have to be perfect. Now there is a pallet that I have isolated there, which will serve our purpose here. So suppose I wanted to pick that seat pallet, and by the way, those are pallets from a mod which I'm gonna show on the screen, just in case you find that the pallets you are using are of a different size. So here, if I was to pick that pallet, first I need to make sure I have lowered the forks. Second is I need to make sure that I have properly adjusted the mast so that it's vertically upward. And third, I have to make sure that I have the proper width. Okay, now if I was to drive right, and of course here you just kind of align yourself with the center all the way until the pallet touches the guard here. Okay, look at what will happen. The forks extend, and that's not good. That's not good forklift operation. So like I said, here in this forklift I already have the side picture to know where I need to stop, so that more or less, there you go, that's the side picture that I have. So just to show you, if I kind of lift the pallet way up and go out, As you can see now, they are properly positioned. Like I said, I'm familiar with this forklift, that's why I already know the reference point. But you get an idea how those reference points work in first person view. There you go. Let's put it back down, and like I said, it was just to demonstrate that purpose. And anytime you need to back up, you must make sure that your forks have cleared any pallet they were into, and you have enough space behind you. Everything is clear. Now let's get into the actual process of loading the man truck that we have in front of us. So first thing, what will happen if you kind of go right into the pallet all the way and let the fork extend. Those are pallets bolt in bulk, so this is how they are going to spawn. So if you go all the way up, all the way into the like this, and when you lift, you are also lifting the one at the back. Okay, and you don't want this to happen. So here I'm looking for my side picture. It doesn't have to be perfect, but here for the purpose of the tutorial, I'm trying to make sure I have all my side pictures correct. There you go. So now if I lift, I'm lifting only the pallet I intend to work with, because the fork are not extending and they are supporting the pallet well enough. So when you pick up the pallet, you don't want to pick it up. That's enough. That's enough. Okay, make sure you're in reverse gear. Clear right, left, and back, and then you kind of course you have to make sure you have cleared the area first before starting to turn. And now let's approach the truck. You can load from any side. Okay, let's come from this side, because we will be loading from both sides anyway. So here, this is just simple driving. Kind of align, not too close to that backrest, because it has a weird contact. Okay, so now because I tilted the mast backward, I need to readjust it forward slightly. That's one thing. Second thing, you don't want to run right into the truck with the forklift. So what I do is I kind of use another side picture here. I'm using when I'm reaching for the mouse, of course the view will change, but from here to here, that distance, I put an equivalent distance from here to the top of this particular flatbed truck. So I will just sit back properly now, and then now more or less it does not have to be perfect. And then I've already placed my mouse vertical, so now I can raise the pallet. Now how high you must raise the pallet? Just enough. So in this particular forklift, so what I'm using as reference is, as soon as I see the bottom, different pallets will have different sizes, and this one, remember, it's not all the way back, it's a little bit forward. So as soon as the line of this pallet has crossed that imaginary line, you see that metal part here, draw an imaginary line from one part to the other. As soon as the pallet is clear of that line, I'm sure it is above the flatbed. Now I have to drive towards the truck, knowing that I won't hit the truck with the pallet. I just have to make sure I leave enough space, because if I get too close, there will be a contact collision detection. Now how far I have to go, that also is another side picture roughly. So as soon as I went a little bit too much, but if I was actually loading that truck, I would have lowered it right now. It does not have to be perfect, but just to show you what I mean by reference point. So here, that little curve, when it starts to curve like this here, when it's aligned with the flatbed. Now I just need to lower, and as you can see, it is sitting in an appropriate place on the flatbed. If I had to readjust, I can from now, okay, just maybe back up a little bit or go forward a little bit, whatever I need to do, and then put the pallet back. Okay, so now you need to lower the pallet enough, lower the forks enough, so that when you are backing, you are not pulling the pallet together with you. So here also I have another reference point. You see this gray part here, like that line, when it touches that part here. Let me show you what I mean here. I'm lowering. You see where when they meet? There you go. This is more or less my reference point, indicating I can back up safely. Of course, I do it slowly just in case, and as you can see, no problem. There you go, and I still get to my reference point, knowing that yep, I'm at the proper distance. Now I can lower the forks without touching. Now if I just back up just a little bit from this distance, I can turn without hitting the truck. So if you have a tight spot, okay, not enough space, you kind of have enough space to work with. Okay, so now let me get out of the truck for a moment, of the forklift truck I mean. Oh my wheel, that's why it was not working. There you go. So here, as you can see, I have loaded one pallet here. I have space to place another pallet in the same orientation, but there will be space here. So that's how you effectively load any trailer, to use as much space effectively as needed. So what I'm gonna do here is, instead of putting it in the same orientation, I'm gonna change the orientation of the pallet. So put in drive. Now in which order you pick up the pallet, whether you do the rows first, or it all depends. Like for example here, my forklift truck will fit to pick the one at the back, so I like to start from front to back and then move sideways little by little. So before picking, I make sure that it's well aligned, vertical and everything, and then I just pick the pallet, remembering to kind of not go all the way into, but for this one it does not matter. Why? It's because I just need to lift it up so that I can then place it here. Okay, put it down and I continue reversing. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come and pick it in the other direction. So since I have a trailer here, I will pick it from this side. So still making sure I don't hit anything. Now as you can see, it's narrower from this side. I'm not a forklift operator, but I'm a truck driver, so of course there are lots of forklift operators. They usually will go down and manually adjust the distance of the forks, but here there is a feature that allows you to do it automatically. So what they do is usually they will put it the distance that will fit both from this side or from the other side, like we did for the first time. So I will just adjust it once and then I will leave it like this. Okay, so I kind of drive, and once again, if I go all the way, it extends, but this time by just a little bit. If this is fine for you, okay, but for me it's not fine. So here I have another side picture that I like to use. Once again, it does not have to be perfect. Okay, so there you go, just enough. Let me readjust my, now same thing here, we are going to be loading from this side, so let's just back up all the way. and then you make necessary adjustments accordingly. So same thing here, I come at a distance where I know I can safely lift. Same thing here, the bottom of the pallet has to go above that line we kind of referenced earlier, just to make sure that collision detection won't kick in here. And this time, since we went a little bit further into the pallet, the reference point will be different. So I'm gonna just, when those big metal, the bottom, you will see what I mean here, that bottom part is more or less aligned with the trailer. I will kind of lower it. It's better to lower it sooner than later, just in case. As you can see, I could have gone a little bit more because there's already another pallet on the other side. There you go, more or less, maybe a little bit more. There you go. And now same thing, you lower. We've already used that reference point before, and you reverse. Lower. There you go. So what I'm trying to do here is to put one like this, another one same orientation, and the one like here will be one here, and one here. Of course you can then adjust. I was just doing it quickly, so let me show you at the same time how to pick up a pallet you've already placed, because at some point you will have to pick it up again. So let's pretend that we just arrived and we want to unload. So the first thing is you align yourself with the pallet. Use the center pallet as reference. That's first thing. Second thing is you drive the appropriate distance where you know you can safely raise without touching the forklift. And you remember we use this reference point to backly safe up. Of course we're going to use the same reference point to safely move into the pallet. And if you want, you can monitor if it's going. There it goes. Works like a charm. Okay, here also I have a reference point to know how far I should go. There it is, my reference point. And then just lift the pallet above the, once again, to place it you use my reference point. To remove it you use the same reference point, and now I can safely back out. Okay, now I can safely lower, because you don't want to be driving with a pallet that's that high. So there you go. Okay, so now you know how to remove it from the pallet. So what I wanted to show here that this truck can do, this forklift truck can do, that other, not all forklift trucks cannot do, is here. Let's say I'm moving from the same position, which if you remember it was a little bit too much to the left. I should move to the right, but I don't need to move the truck itself, the forklift truck itself, to the right. What I can do is here I will just lower it a little bit, and then move it to the side. Okay, this is as much to the side as it will go, and then there you go. I can still use the same side picture from both sides. Okay, now I reverse slowly just to make sure that everything is correct. Lower first. Let me get to a safe distance first. I lower, and then I put the forks back to the center. Okay, so should I load the fertilizer. No, let's finish with the pallets first. Okay, so now we will remove the other one. It's already in reverse. So how to stack pallets? Now I've never seen when packets are placed on pallets like this. I have never seen them stack more than one on top of the pallet at the bottom. It's because if the pallet at the bottom will be supporting all the weight, so that's only one on top and other, and that's what I will do here. So here same thing, and now I'm gonna try to do this without adjusting the fork, same as the truck forklift truck drivers do. So here, safe distance, we lift, same reference point we're going to use. So once that there it is, there is our reference point, and then we just move like so. And we use the same reference point that we used to put down the how to say this, the pallet. We use the same reference point to pick it up. Reverse, safe distance, I can lower my pallet just like so. Continue to reverse, we will put it in the shed there, and we will stack the other one on top of it. Now I already kind of know those the reference points, that's why I usually do it much quicker, but here I'm talking, I'm explaining, that's why it kind of seems a little bit tedious, but it's usually when you're used to, you will kind of do it much faster. Okay, so there you go. Reverse, same thing, check before and make sure you have cleared the pallet with the forks before. So we'll move to the other side and take the pallet and put it in the same orientation like this one. And let me save a moment to talk about this mod. It's a realistic seed mod something. I will put it on the screen. So as you can see, all the pallets, even the fertilizer, I could have picked any pallet. It was just here to kind of show how the pallets look when you kind of buy them in bulk of 4 in this case. So in case you are working with different pallet size, you just adapt because you will be probably using those pallets during your entire playthrough. So let's get back to this pallet here. So this time I don't have to worry too much about because there's no pallet behind it. So here I just raise, let me make sure it's straight first, more or less. Look for that side picture of ours. Drive slowly just in case we are to hit the flat bed and not the, okay, here. Like here it's not super important because I'm just gonna lift it, reverse, and now I can put it back just like that because I have enough space. Okay, continue backing out. Make sure I've cleared the forks out of the pallet and come and pick this one up. Same thing here. Now I should add that the pallet, how you say this, the physics, they don't work as real life pallets, and I'm sure you already know that. Lots of things you can do in real life you can't do here because the collision detection or whatever it's called. So we are restricted in the things you can realistically do. But anyway, that's my reference point. Let me make sure. No, that's the one. just lift it up enough, just above ground, so that we can then move to stacking it to the other pallet we already placed. Now you get as close to the other pallet as possible, mainly because you can clearly see where you're going. And then once you get close enough, once again make sure it's straight. And here, very handy, if you have any kind of structure in front of you, you can use the line. Like here you can clearly see it's not a line. Here you can use, okay, now I will lift it the appropriate distance. Here it's when this intersects the middle, like here it's more or less in the middle of that metal part here. Then I know I have kind of lifted the pallet high enough so that it won't be too high, but high enough to get over the other pallet. Now once again, just gonna, and I'll be honest with you, I just forgot the side picture for this one. I believe once I cleared, there you go, should be the one, so you can still lower and see what it's doing. There you go. And when I lower, it's usually that size, the same size here. Okay, here the distance here has to be the same distance here. I hope I'm making sense about, anyway, you kind of understand what I'm trying to do here. And then slowly back out, and then I can lower the fork. Remember not to drive with the fork up or pallets up for too long. Okay, so one last thing to see with this trailer, with this forklift, is this one here. And as you can see, just make sure once again when you approach, line properly aligned like this, and then you kind of try to come, because the physics is a little bit wonky, so you come in as straight as possible and all the way in. All the way in. Why? It's because forks don't extend. So all the way in, lift it up. As soon as it's up, that's enough. Okay, clear. Make sure you won't hit anything with your pallet or fork lift neither. So this time you can clearly guess. Let me put it on top of the truck first. Same thing, remember it's the bottom of the pallet that has to be above that reference line. There it is. So I continue to drive forward, knowing that I'm not gonna hit anything here. Now since it's all the way in, I can use this reference point, and even before lowering it, let me just show you what I mean here. Why am I not moving? Okay, the game just froze on me. You can see there's no way you will fit two of these guys, no matter the orientation, because it's perfectly square. So what you want to do is, in order to balance the weight, you want to put it in the middle. So here, this reference point, will put it like in the border, more or less here. You lower it, same reference point, back up just a little bit. Okay, lift it enough, move forward again, more or less like this, and put it back. Okay, same reference point, and then you can reverse properly. Lower the fork, and then you can proceed with loading the other pallets. the fertilizers, liquid fertilizers, and for unloading it's the same process. You kind of just get the side picture again, but this time it's gonna be two steps. So you get drive into the pallet slowly, just in case your reference point, like for example when I move, you see how the reference point change. Okay, until that point more or less. Lift it a little bit, reverse, new reference point, put it down, forward, all the way into this time, lift up, reverse, safe distance, lower, you get the idea. Not all the way down. And now you can proceed to, like I said, if you are the safe distance you can turn, provided that it is this, your pallet is not extending too much, and you can then proceed to unload your pallet. So it's just a matter of then rinse and repeat, and the more you get used to a specific forklift, the better you will be able to do it. There we go, quicker and better. So we are done with this forklift. So what I will do is put parking brakes, turn the beacon off, and shut down the engine. This is a forklift and this is a truck I'm used to, loading stuffs I'm used to. So how about a forklift? Believe me or not, I'm not used to this one. It's the default one. I'm pretty sure most people will use this one. I'm not used to this one, and neither is the trailer in front of me. So I'm gonna go through the thought process. I believe it has a beacon too. Yes. So the only feature I guess it does not have is this is the same. This is the same. Okay, it just does not move from side to side. Okay, we'll put it back down. Okay, let's pick one of those fertilizer pallets, and I kind of let's lift the one. I hope I have put it back in place where it was, the lone one. Yeah, it is. Oh, it is there. So I'm gonna walk you through the thought process so that no matter which forklift truck you're using, which pallet you're using, on which trailer you're loading it, that's all the way, that's as close as it will go. This is as far as it will go, and this is as close as it will go. As you saw with the other forklift, it could go even closer. So first test is to see if I go all the way into the pallet, and that's when you kind of regret the physics does not work as in real life, because you could have easily moved the pallet this way with the fork and align it. Okay, so let's go all the way into. It extends also. So, but here I don't have my reference for when it's not going to kind of extend. So I'm gonna reverse based on my previous experience on the previous forklift. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put it here. I'm using a reference point I have available, and then I will show you the cheaty way. I mean, it's not cheaty way, but it's a quick just find the reference point quickly. Okay, so let me kind of get it up again. As you can see, it still extends a little bit, so it has to be Yeah, that's my new reference point. You are free to choose your own reference point, okay? And here it does not extend, it's at the appropriate location. Now let me show you which reference point I found. First, I make sure I'm forward all the way so that my track IR won't register any forward movement, and that's the reference point I'm using. You see those that line here? There's one here too, but this one is more visible. I have aligned that part of the pallet with this one. That's the thought process. Now I'm gonna show you the cheaty quick way. You probably already guessed it. Okay, I mean, that's why I don't use third-person view except when needed. If I'm really want, usually you can kind of pretend there's a helper helping you in this process, so you simply put it in a way that then when you reverse you kind of guess. There you go, there you go, just to get the reference point, and then from there you find whatever reference point you will be using in first person view. Okay, there it is. Fine, so that's the reference point for picking up the pallet. So now let's pick one of those there, the actual pallets we want to load. Okay, here as you can see, as soon as there is contact, in real life you could have easily kind of aligned, even if you have to have perfectly aligned. That's how the physics work. That's what we have, so that's what we will use. There you go. So let's see if I pick the right reference point. Yeah! Okay. Honestly, I don't know how to use this, how to say this forklift, so I'm learning how to operate it. And what I like to do is, that's actually what I do is, once I get a certain reference point, I make a screenshot. Okay, so that I have a reference here also, just for the sake of doing it as quickly as possible. You pretend that the external view is not you, it's kind of a helper guiding you. So here I'm guessing I should be okay. I should be at appropriate distance to, then I can lift the pallet, and as you can see I have still room. So I'll just drive like this, and now I can use my side picture. First you have to be sure that there is no moving part, or if there is, it's at the same distance. Okay, I just found one that is not moving. So when I reach for my mouse, it kind of changed the view. You see where those line curves? It's going up like this, and then it curves, and then it goes up again. So where it curves is more or less, I align it with this, for this trailer. Of course, unless you buy 1,000 trailers, you are probably going to use the same trailer, not throughout your entire playthrough, but for a long time. You're going to use the same forklift and the same trailer for a long time, so you will get used to that. So that's the reference where I'm close enough. As you can see, no way I'm hitting the trailer when I lift up. Now I have to have a reference point. How high to lift up? You don't want to lift higher than required. So same thing here. As you can see, it's already at an appropriate distance. It was just a guess. And when I'm up at the appropriate distance, as you can see here, I can use the frame here itself. here when it's aligned with the trailer, just to make sure. I want to make it a little bit higher. Okay, now I'm good to go. Now the last part is when to lower. So here also you can keep driving, keep driving. Here seems to be a nice place to lower, so when I'm sitting here, what reference point can I use? Just make sure that we're in the same position. What reference point can I use? Is this part moving? No. So I might use this. I believe it's the for the mirror. When this is kind of more or less touching the bottom part of the trailer, I know more or less. I will lower it slowly to see where it goes. Okay, it's sitting properly. And now, final, how much to lower? Okay, if I lower this, it's too low. So just when that part, that bar here is, you can see it's one line with the trailer. Once again, let's try to reverse slowly first. There you go. So let's load another pallet on the other side. So let me see here. I don't know the turn radius of this forklift. Oh, it seems to be a little bit. Oh, it goes. Okay, so let's pick the next pallet and we will load it. Here, as you already know, you have to come in straight. You can't adjust with the forklift itself, which is something done by real forklift drivers. I know what I'm talking about. They operate around me every day, loading my own truck, so don't tell me it's not true. Okay, so once again, oops. Now it does not have to be perfect. Just for the purpose of this tutorial, I'm making it like using the actual reference point. But the reference points are here just to kind of give you a point to work from. Then you do minor adjustments as required. I'm gonna put this palette exactly as is, just for the sake of, even if, as you can see, I can change the orientation, same as I did for the previous trailer. It's just to demonstrate the thought process of finding your reference point and then making screenshots and then practicing. I mean, the more you practice, the sooner all those things will get into your head. So as soon as these guys here, let's see, I'm hesitating because I'm not used to yet, and we kind of use the bottom of the lift it up, move forward. I kind of used this guy here. Okay, more or less, like I said, it's just for reference. Put it down, it sits perfectly, and then to lower, it's kind of aligned with the top is aligned with the trailer itself, and I back out. Okay, back out. Oh, there you go. This is the thought process I go through when I'm using not only a forklift but any other vehicle, but the forklift was definitely a good example. Now, of course, for each manipulation, like if you were to turn it and pick it from this side, if you were to use this pallet, I'm not doing it because I'm using this forklift. It was just to show you, in case you are using this forklift or any other forklift or any other vehicle, it's the same thought process, how you find your reference point. And like I said, I would suggest making screenshots and then making a folder. Maybe we all have enough space to kind of put screenshots. Then you can say forklift folder, name is the name of the forklift, and then you kind of group them into, for example, when loading this trailer, then you have your reference point. In case you're using another trailer with the same forklift, you kind of get your reference points and then you make screenshots. And like I said, the best way is just to keep doing it. I mean, I've done it so often in this truck, forklift truck, is even if I come back after a while, provided I'm using the same truck, I can still more or less remember the reference point because I've done it so often that it's it becomes second nature. I don't even have to think, I just kind of do it. So here it is. It was a general guide on how to operate forklift truck using first-person view, how to use your reference points, and if you don't have any reference points, you're using a new trailer and or a new forklift, how to find your reference points. So I hope that you found this guide helpful, and as usual, please leave a like to show that the effort I'm putting into making these videos is paying off. It's a nice way to say thank you. So please like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next training video. Until then, take care. Bye bye.